right, welcome to another episode. Yes, Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Yay!
We made it to episode 11.
11.
Yes, Kendra, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Welcome. I'm fantastic. Let's get to the pleasantries. What's new with you? And we got a big show complete with a bunch of topics today. Hopefully, we'll keep it to about an hour long. Joining us in several different formats here. First, iTunes, YouTube, live on Twitch, 2 p.m. every Saturday.
Spotify as well.
Spotify. We've hit the major marks now. So this being episode 11, and kind of running the kinks, running it through a little bit, and trying to perfect something it's hard to perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. Life is an effort of perfection, right?
There's no perfecting art, really.
Oh, good point.
There's no right. Once it's perfect, it's over, right? I mean, I don't know, it's over for you as an artist.
Well, it can always, an artist can always spend more and more time on a project, but at some point you have to share it with the world.
Yes, let's share. What's new with you?
Well, first, let's start by wishing Michigan a happy 182nd birthday, Michigan.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
How many?
182 years Michigan has existed.
Actually, it's not so long. Not as long as I might think, but 182 years. Okay, happy birthday, Michigan. Very cool. All right.
Beyond that, this week I spent some time creating a vision board for 2019.
A vision board. Okay, so you cut pictures out of magazines, post them on a paper. You've started or completed?
Started.
Okay.
I mean,
how's it look? What do you got on there?
I mean, it's not really... I would like for it to be more filled, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what I want on my vision board.
In case you guys didn't tune in last week, vision board's kind of like you put the things that you want on a board for like a year or whenever you want to do it, and kind of you kind of look at it from time to time, and it just kind of keeps these goals in your mind because life gets in the way, right? You forget about things.
Exactly. So on my vision board, I have a person exercising because I'd like to exercise more. I've got a couple of books because I'd like to read more. Mm-hmm. I've got a little home mat, because I think it'd be really great if I started saving to buy a house this year.
Okay.
That would be cool.
All right. Saving for a house. That's cool.
And then taking care of my hair.
What kind of magazines did you buy for this?
I got...
You're looking over at them.
Yeah, I'm
Hold them up. Grab them. Grab them for the camera. Yeah, like I say, available on iTunes if you're listening, or YouTube for the more visceral experience.
So I have the Ink magazine, which I specifically chose because it had an article about Bird in it, which is that scooter.
What else?
HGTV.
See, that's a good one. Home and garden, right? A lot of stuff. Lots
of images.
A lot of stuff you can buy in that. What else did you get?
Psychology Today.
Okay, all right. I don't see a fitness magazine in there.
Didn't need one.
Okay, good. How's that workout plan coming? Just kidding. All right, so not like you need to. You're in great. I mean, you have great figures, so don't worry about it.
It's about preventative, not.
Tell me about it. I looked in the mirror today. I needed some preventative. I got so many new gray hairs. For me, first act is complete of Good Man Charlie Brown. We got 4 weeks. This is a 6-week thing to put up the show, and we got 4 weeks left. So it's grind time. Of course, I'm teaching kids singing, dancing, acting, co-directing with another guy. It's been good. I'm musical directing and choreographing for this. He does everything else.
Are you finding there's anything that's surprising you about this experience, or that's different this time around compared to the last time?
It's going well. Things are going well. I'm surprised that things are going well. Compared to last time, the kids' attitudes are 10 times better. They kind of know what to expect. They're there to work hard and kind of put out something, So it's been a joy. It's been a joy this time. I think the kids are really into working hard. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about it. And speaking of working hard, it is time for the musky moment of the day. Our man Elon Musk. Let's play the theme music. Here we go. Elon.
If the future does not include being out there among the stars and being a multi-planet species, it's incredibly depressing if that's not the future that we're going to have.
We're all chimps. We're one notch above a chimp.
I want to be clear, I do not respect the SEC. I do not respect them.
I do engineering, hardcore structural, hardcore mechanical,
hardcore
electrical,
hardcore
designing thing, aerospace
engineering.
The future spaceships will be truly enormous. As you know, Tesla, we've open sourced our patents, so we're trying to be as helpful as possible for the advent of electric vehicles.
We'll not be able to hold a candle to AI and manufacturing and engineering, user interface engineering.
We're trying to dig a hole under LA, and this is to create the beginning of what will hopefully be a 3D network of tunnels to alleviate congestion.
where
It's too long. I said it last week. I gotta shorten it up. It's just too long. Okay, so let's wow, the theme music just started playing again. But let's get into Elon Musk on his Twitter testing metallic heat shield right here. Look at those flamethrowers, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at those flamethrowers, by the way. This will be, now what's nice about this is it's metal. It's either aluminum or stainless steel. It's not carbon fiber like the spaceships were.
Okay.
So he's kind of going back to what was on the Saturn V rocket. So he's, testing, 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, these brand new heat shields. It's hot out there in space.
Yeah, and you need the protection. I understand. It's also cold out there in space.
Ooh, good. Very nice. It's hot and it's cold. It's yes and it's no. It's Katy Perry all over again. All right, and then this. Check it out. The Tesla, and you have your main screen, but she's playing an old classic Atari game called Pole Position. So now, when they're waiting, her daughter's not bored. She can play classic Atari games, but she uses the steering wheel. I just thought that was crazy. Instead of like using the touchscreen or whatever, they're using the actual screen of the Tesla and the wheel of the Tesla to play pole position.
Wow, that's really neat.
European Model 3s are off the production line in Europe, so now Model 3s are available in Europe. So that's new for Elon Musk, a whole new venture overseas, right? Getting the, you've been to Europe.
I have.
Cars
yes.
are different over there. You don't see the Fords. You don't see the General Motors. You don't see the pickup trucks.
No, I'd say more smart cars in Europe than I'd ever seen in the United States.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That was my first introduction to those itty bitty vehicles that they drive around there.
Yeah, they have really, really tiny. Let me blow this up for you guys. They have really tiny vehicles over there. But I'm just saying, like, cracking the European market is they had brands that I hadn't even heard of. You all heard of Fiat and stuff like that, but some of these cars I was unaware it even existed, especially in Deutschland.
Would you consider Tesla like a luxury brand?
Yes and no. It has luxury vehicles, yeah, sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Well, okay. So that's why I definitely think that like Europe would be more likely to invite a luxury brand rather than they wouldn't view it necessarily as competition so much as like the next big innovation. But so this is definitely a milestone.
And this article that I brought up here, remember how he had to crank out those Model 3s, and we've covered this before, in his Gigafactory, and they actually put up a tent. They did this on 60 Minutes. He put up a tent to crank out more, to like make a solution, to meet some deadlines. Well, he's actually fined, apparently, over for the California Division of Occupational Safety and Health. He faces fines of, get this, $30,000. So about the price of one of his cars. So not so bad when you put it that way, right?
Yeah,
when you put it that way,
perspective is everything.
it's not so bad. So he's faced with dilemmas. Working hard. People working long hours, 100-hour plus weeks, 120-hour weeks. So he says he wants to continue working hard. He's put several people in charge that are ahead of this, but you gotta take care of their employees. A lot of the employees are happy. You always get a few that complain, and I think you do need government protection to make sure that working environments are fair.
Yeah, like basic standards.
But I've worked at some restaurants that probably had pretty bad
We're not
work
following-
environments, and I didn't get EHS showing up, protecting me. So
Well,
I think he's under a microscope. He's kind of fought the government in some ways. He doesn't respect the SEC. So, and he said that.
Yeah, that totally makes sense that, somebody who's getting a lot of public attention might be looked at. But it does seem like there are companies that kind of fly under the radar and are able to get away. And it takes a lot of courage to be a whistleblower, because even though they say that there are protections, it's really true. It's hard.
Yeah. And that was your Musky moment for the week. Do you think an Elon Musk would sell like
Yes.
the flamethrowers? It would sell out, wouldn't it?
Immediately, in my opinion.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on with the next topic. Thank you for joining us. We're live on Twitch every Saturday, 2 p.m., unless we're going on vacation or trying to make a trip down to mine or your parents' house. So you can check us out there. But hit us up on the YouTube's podcast, iTunes, Spotify. I'll keep saying that throughout the show.
Patreon as well.
Oh, what is that?
Patreon.com/shoot the messenger. You can donate there and actually support us. So if you like what we're doing, you want to continue to see it, you can support us on Patreon.
Yeah, we'll get some sponsors too, maybe in there. What do I have next for the outline here?
That would be a dance off.
Oh, the dance off for the ages. This hitting the internet this morning, so I'm happy to bring this to you now. You've probably seen it already. Now, you ready for it? Dance off of the ages. You've always seen those cams in the large sports arenas that go on to people and zoom in. Well, this one kind of speaks for itself. It is the Fortnite era, so kids are more familiar with dancing now than ever.
Specific dance moves, yeah, definitely.
They just go right into it. Let me see my OBS. Am I correct on the cams? Okay, check this out, man. Check this out. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I don't want to get copyright strike, so I'm going to turn this down. Okay, so you got the kid. See, the guy in the red hat doesn't know what's going on. He's trying to do his own thing, but it's all about the kid in the all black. Uh-oh. And this kid, he's taking off his shirt.
I see what you're doing. I raise you.
One up. So the kid started off with his jacket. Now he's going his shirt. He's going for it. I love it. Boom. And this is the Fortnite dance. Look at the face. Look at the face. I love it. And this kid, not to be outdone, more Fortnite dancing. He's got different moves. Of course, we go back to the other kid. Classic Fortnite dancing, doing the kick. The other kid goes back to the flossy, and then he switches up to the jiggle, the chest jiggle.
Reminds me of the Goonies, right?
Chunk.
Yep.
Yeah, there he goes. Yep. This is it, man. How sweet would this be? And I just don't like the other people trying to like get in the way to get attention. This guy with his little boomsticks. You know, it's like, know that you are not the one, man. Look, they always get the zombie look on their face, too, when they're doing the Fortnite dance. That's a talk of the kids. And there you go. That's epic. These kids were later on the news, the local news, where they were dancing with local reporters and stuff like that. Kind of a cringeworthy moment because the reporters, you know, obviously were kind of just with them. They don't know the dances.
Oh, true. Do you think that this is something that kind of deserves the notoriety of like children dancing? I feel like there's always something that goes viral of a kid being cute or whatever, and then they immediately have them on the news.
Sure. Yeah, no.
That's
Put them on the news, man. That's great. That was a great moment. Live in the moment, and that's newsworthy. I'd say get on the news.
Share the joy.
Share the joys with your fellow brethren. I don't mind that it's on the news. I do mind the setup where the ladies... Man, I wish I had the clip, but like I said, it's not mine to own. I don't want to get copyright strike. But what it was is they were kind of dancing, then they gave up halfway through, and they like the kids were still going full bore. So you got to go for it. And as being news reporters, seeing the lack of effort, I was like, I was kind of dismayed. Anyway, that's your palate cleanse. Let's get to your bad movie review, Kendra. It's growing in popularity. You watch a bad movie every week. Okay,
I do.
You watch a bad movie every week. You pick one. How do you pick the movies, by the way?
Well, right now they're coming to us by fan recommendation.
Oh.
So if you've got a movie idea, you want to watch me review your movie idea, shoot it our way.
It's a good time to get in right now. Get in on the ground floor. We're on the ground floor. This is, eventually you're not going to be able to even talk to us. We'll be so big you can't even look us up.
So right now we're getting recommendations like that. Otherwise, I'm trying to find fun movies that sound interesting. Hopefully, we're a milestone in cinematic history, but also, bad, notorious movies.
So this week,
before The Happening, before Little Shop of Horrors, it was the day of the Triffids.
The Triffids.
1963, this film came out.
Wow.
So Triffid is a plant.
Okay.
So you've got a little bit of
question. Yep, you knew.
Context. Triffid is a type of plant that takes place in this film. This movie was directed by Steven Seagal.
Is it a real plant? Is it a Triffid like a real? Okay.
I actually didn't look into that.
Okay, I'll look into it.
It does start the movie out with like a little scientific thing about the Venus flytrap.
I'm playing a little trailer here. Is that okay? Is it going to ruin anything? Can I play the trailer now?
Go ahead.
Okay, we'll play a little bit. Let's look at it. Oh, it's like that, huh? What is it? What's happening here? Little bubbles?
I think that's just the beginning as it's... Yes, that's just the intro.
Oh, just the intro. Wow, what classic 70s, 1960s, sorry.
Yes.
The Triffids. When terror rained from the sky.
Terror from the sky. Any notable actors?
Yes, there's the stars were Howard Keel, Nicole Morey, and Jeanette Scott. Which I was like, Jeanette Scott, what else was she in? That name sounds really familiar. And after I did a little bit of digging, it's not that I saw her in anything else. It's that she's referenced in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No kidding.
Yeah, the line is, and I got really hot when I saw Jeanette Scott fighting Triffids that spit poison and kills.
So they were actually talking about this movie.
They are.
Okay, let's get into it. What? Tell us what it's about. Go into your full review. I'm gonna play some clips here.
All right, so this movie is actually based off of a 1951 novel of the same name. The movie starts out with everyone calling the meteor shower of a lifetime. So it's beautiful. The sky is all lighting
Very
up.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes. Yes.
Came from the sky. Okay.
We meet our main character, Bill Mason, who's actually recovering from eye surgery. So he's all blindfolded up. The doctor tells him he can't remove his blindfolds until tomorrow.
He's blindfolded.
Yep.
Okay.
And so he cannot watch this once-in-a-lifetime event.
It's like missing the eclipse.
Exactly. So he goes to bed. Then we meet our second set of protagonists. And this follows a scientific couple. They're actually studying stingrays on an island. And the husband, it's very obvious that he is a drunk. Like, immediately he's asking for the alcohol. He's very angry. And he says he's tired of the island. He wants to leave.
Did alcoholics exist in the 1960s?
Oh, yes.
Did they know of alcoholism?
Well,
okay.
at the very least, they portray this
part of
character as, it's part of life. And so he's very cranky, and she asks him, do you want to watch the meteor shower? And he's like, no, and cranky, and I want to go to bed. And so they go to bed. Now,
Is this the guy? Who's this guy?
that is actually Bill Mason. Our I would call him our main protagonist, and I would call the scientists our secondary protagonists.
Okay.
So
I'm looking at this guy with the marine hat or something like that.
yes, that's Bill. Yep,
Okay.
that's Bill Mason. He's actually a first mate on a ship. And so he was recovering from this eye surgery. So the next morning, Bill Mason actually
Go ahead.
wakes up.
Yeah.
And he can't find anybody. And when he finally runs into people, he realizes that the entire world has gone blind. Everybody that watched the meteor shower can no longer see. And you can actually see in this scene, people are kind of like wandering around, touching everything because they can't see anything.
Reverse Bird Box or whatever the heck.
Yes,
Yeah, right?
basically.
Okay, go ahead.
And then, meanwhile, actually, let me first say, because he's the only sighted person that a lot of these people can find, people are quickly like flocking to him. They find out that he can see, and he starts getting pulled in these all these directions. But because he's a first mate, he quickly like asserts himself as the protagonist and like departs or whatever. So meanwhile, the scientists, the next morning, they're waiting for a ship so they can leave the island, and the ship never arrives. So they turn on the radio and they hear a radio report about the worldwide blindness and a warning that plants seem to be killing people and moving about. It's not like the plants are just poisoning people. It's that they're also like unrooting themselves and moving.
Oh my gosh.
So basically, this film contains two movies, one with a set of characters that are learning kind of how to navigate this world where everybody's blind, and then the second set is stuck on the island trying to figure out how to defeat the Triffids.
How
these
fast do
plants.
they move?
Well,
You never see them move.
you do see them move, actually, but the continuity of this film is kind of screwy, which is my first negative. The plants move slower or faster at certain points. You can kind of see the plants attacking this scene right here.
Right.
So they do move relatively fast, but if you're, speed walking, you can get away from them.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
So, but they also like shoot poison gas out and have like stingers and stuff. So you have to be like really careful when you're battling these Triffids, these plants. So the other problem with this movie is, with the continuity specifically, is it's called The Day of the Triffids. And it seems very much like it's in one day, like the characters don't change. I mean, it's like 2 days, maybe 3 days at a max. And at one point, Mason says, the past few days, I've seen some horrible things. And it's like, wait, dude, like you woke up this morning blindfolded. Like a few days haven't passed. What are you talking about? It feels like for a while, Bill Mason isn't even aware that the plants are coming to life and killing people. But
Get
then
him!
all of a sudden,
Get him!
he
They're trying to
knows.
attack. Look, okay, I see him moving right now. Look at this. They swing their arms at him. Okay,
Yeah.
you got to fight him back a little bit.
So those are the scientist couple right there.
Okay, all right, cool.
So the other thing that kind of drove me nuts about this movie was Jeanette Scott Wright, who we see on screen. She was kind of a bit of a scream queen in this film. You know, she's a laboratory...
A screen queen?
Scream queen.
So like screaming.
Yeah, all she does is scream in this film. And I mean...
Oh, wait. I think we got one right there.
Yes.
Okay, let me see.
And look at how helpless she looks. Like, she's just letting him... And she's, like, in a corner, and oh, my goodness, and, like, just
that's the way women
mugging
are.
for the camera.
That's the way women are.
Oh, and I mean...
There we go. Shh. One more. Come on. Scream. Nope, just face making. That's good acting. Like, all right.
So she...
Okay, go ahead.
So... The what drove me nuts about that is she's like his laboratory assistant, and she's very curious and she's watching them, but somehow every time she sees these plants, she's like utterly surprised and has to let out a scream.
There it is. Okay.
The other thing that drove me nuts about it didn't drive me nuts, but it was kind of like this mini point of like, what?
I love how long this battle is. Go ahead.
There was a little bit of like sexual tension between Bill Mason and this woman character that he meets at one point.
That's what makes it good.
Well, but it was awkward. Like the thing, what happened is they like touched hands. There was no on-screen charisma at all between these two actors. So they touched hand and then they looked at each other like.
How about these two? Are they okay? The scientists?
Yeah,
okay.
The scientists actually have like a really dynamic relationship because, like I said, he's an alcoholic.
Okay.
And he's excited about his work, and she's just wants him to be excited.
But
again.
these two.
Correct.
And she's got a kid with her. That's why there's no romance.
No, actually.
Once you have kids, there's no romance.
He
Kendra.
found the kid. That kid is actually an orphan, and the little girl can also
That's what my
see.
mom always told me too.
So there were a few things about this movie that needed a little bit of finesse.
Okay.
But I did find that the world building around the idea that the world is blind was actually like pretty good. It was fully encompassing. They showed images of Paris. We got to see an Asian country in flames.
Yeah, I did see that.
You know, there was a cruise ship.
Okay, these people are blind?
Yes, everybody's blind.
Okay. All right.
So,
and then led around the house here.
The most heartbreaking scene that we saw was the plane crash. Actually, you know, this plane is stranded in the air because nobody can see, the pilots included, and they're running out of gas, and so that's a really heartbreaking moment. So the world building around it is really, I felt, strong. You know, and then the other thing that I really enjoyed about it is the discussion. I mean, they included alcoholism. At one point, they talked about cigarettes. And so they're really honest about like these vices in the world. And then the other thing was survivor's guilt. So Bill Mason is with this woman that you see in this picture right here, and at one point they're getting away and she feels so bad, and he said, I understand what you're going through, you know, being in the military, sometimes things will happen, and you know, you look around and there's only a handful of you left, and you think, why me? So this honest conversation about survivor's guilt and PTSD in 1962-63 I thought was really poignant and beautiful to see in a classic film. So now the theme of this film,
was it rated well when it came out? I mean, was it
I mean,
what do you know about it?
What I know about it is that it does have, like, the book is well loved.
Okay.
You know, people really enjoy the book, and it has like there are comparisons to War of the Worlds to this book and the film. So I think it got relatively good reception. It does have a pretty high score on Rotten Tomatoes, but it only has 19 reviews.
Yeah. Okay.
So
but it was suggested to you, so obviously somebody really liked it.
Yeah.
Dave the Triffids. Okay.
Now, this film does not
Triffids.
Yes, Triffids.
Got it.
This film doesn't really have any like purposeful comedy, nor is it, I don't feel like it's trying to do some of the things that the other movies we've reviewed so far are like cheeky, or, you know, it's just a straightforward story about the end of the world and plants taking over killer plants. Now I would say the theme of this movie, and maybe it's because it was based on a book, but it felt like the entire time it was just banging your head with the theme, which is about blindness. You know, the main character starts blind, the world goes blind. There are references to keeping your eyes closed.
Well, it's a pretty big deal, Kendra. You lose your sight, you're going to be talking about it. I can't even. I saw it yesterday.
Well, and there's
Wouldn't
more.
everybody be, if everybody lost their sight, wouldn't everybody for the day of the Triffids be like, I can't see? Everybody would be saying that stuff.
Well, and everybody does say that, and there's
Okay.
several warnings throughout, like, of please, if you cannot see, do not move about.
Wait, are these people dancing in here, by the way? They have a little party?
Well, I don't want to. Those are actually convicts that can see, and they came in, and they like this. All these people are blind. All these women are blind, and so they're. So Bill is trying to get the women away from the convicts in this scene.
Whoa, okay, all right.
So they do a good job with the world building. They really
Okay.
talk about what it would be like if the entire world went blind, because like as I was saying, they said don't move around if you can't see. You're likely to hurt yourself or start a fire. So that, the scene of the entire city in flames makes sense because all it takes is one person knocking over something when they can't see, and then that's
Yeah.
the city.
Yes.
So continuing the theme of blindness, at one point they meet a woman who's been blind for many years, and so she's kind of overcome her blindness.
Oh, yeah, that's the people you want to talk to. Like, you know how to do this.
Exactly.
Teach me your ways.
And then one of the last lines in the film is, you searched for answers and it's right in front of you. So if any line in the film really kind of capsulized what the theme of this film is, it's answers being right in front of you and you can't see it. Because spoiler alert.
Okay, spoiler alert. So if you want to watch this, it's
This
available.
is going to be a 5-second spoiler.
It's available on YouTube. Give him a minute. But anyway, go ahead. Spoiler, done. Go.
You search for the answers. It's right in front of your, because it's salt water in the ocean that melts the plants. So the scientists were trying to figure out how to destroy the plants. He had all of these things, and
He's
he
like
was trying all
stabbing
of these
them
things.
and injecting them.
Yeah, with all these chemicals and stuff, because they're scientists and they have these things in their lab. But it was salt water, the thing that covers.
Careful now, you're getting outside your 5-second range here.
Well, you said give them a minute.
Okay, cool.
So
they
it's
should listen to me. You're right. Thank you.
So it's the substance that encapsulates 2/3 of the earth is the substance that kills these plants. So there it is. You searched for the answers, and it's right there in front of you.
Well, there it is, the day of the Triffids. Well, let me get this out of the way. I think it's time to do our natural business of ranking this. We have a way to do this, right?
We do.
Okay.
Our ranking
Hold on. I got to get it ready. Thank you.
Our ranking is based upon Starship Troopers. So if you get 5 Starship Troopers, that's the highest score you can get. And Starship Troopers was chosen because it is an excellent movie. And if you get 5, then it's great.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 5, Starship Troopers, Kendra. Do we have 1 Starship Trooper?
Oh, yes. We have 1 Starship Trooper. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay, 1 star. There he is in all his glory. Kendra, do we have 2 Starship Troopers?
We do have 2 Starship Troopers.
There it is, the redhead. She's up there now. We got to get their names. I said this last week. Okay, Kendra, do we have 3 Starship Troopers?
Yes. Day of the Triffids receives 3 Starship Troopers out of 5. That is my score. 3. Just because I really felt like the theme pulled it together and some of the honesty pulled it together, even though, the plants looked like Gus from the National Asparagus Festival.
Wow. Oh, dang. Nice. Woo. What a reference. Can we bring up some media? Gus from the National Asparagus Festival? Look at you pull that off.
We probably should. But yeah, at one point, all of the plants are like kind of huddled together and moving together, and it looks just like a giant army of Gus, in my opinion.
Oh my God! Is this Gus right here? Is this what we're talking about? Is that Gus?
That's the British Asparagus Festival. No, I'm talking about the American National.
How dare
Asparagus.
I? How dare I? Okay, well, whatever. We'll get it next week. Let's move on.
Well, okay.
No, you want to see Gus?
I do. Now that you.
Okay, we'll bring up Gus National Asparagus Festival. Images, and it's Gus. You say, okay, there he is. Okay, is this Gus? Kendra, is that Gus? Right there? Is that him? Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I should have just brought up the picture if I was going to make that reference.
No, it's okay. We can tank the show. No, is that him? Is that him?
No.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Okay, I don't want to spend any more time on this, so let's move on. We'll get it next week for you.
I think you guys get the idea, though.
Well, look it up for yourself. So you can find Gus from the National. That's a little homework for you. Okay, so little palate cleanse for us today. Something on the cuter side of life here. We have a little toddler here. I wish I could make this bigger, but I can't. Let me see what I can do. And just saying hi to the horses. Do you have any experiences with the horses, Kendra?
I remember one experience from Girl Scout camp when
Hi, horsey.
We were going uphill and all the horses started pooping to let off weight, and the guy that was leading the horses, he warned us
Because you were going uphill?
Yep. They're dropping weight, and then they all started pooping.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
that's what you remember about horses, huh?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I
That's
vividly
a horrible
remember.
horse experience. I got bucked off a horse at a young age. Me, my two sisters were sitting on a horse, and it was like dark out. Somebody thought it was a good idea to take flash photography.
Oh no.
Yeah, with us on. I think they did. God, like you think back on it, it's like, man, that's a setup. You set me up. You set me up, Mom. And I got bucked off the horse. Luckily, I'm fine. Little brain damage, but you know the
nothing too permanent.
You know, you can hear it when it comes out on the show. But whatever, the brain damage does.
All my other stories about horses, I just can't. I'm not sure if like they actually happened or if it was something I like dreamed from my childhood. You know.
Speaking of animals, this toddler. Okay, we're on to our next topic. Toddler goes missing for 3 days. And the toddler says he hung out with a bear. 3 days. Imagine a kid in heavy rains, gusty winds is what this article says. Low visibility. We're talking about North Carolina. Going missing for 3 days.
Yeah. So I guess he was actually playing outside with two other relatives at his great-grandmother's.
3-year-old.
Yeah. On
his
Tuesday.
great-grandmother. Poor great-grandmother.
And you can listen to the call online, and it sounds like she's pretty upset. But granted, she just lost a 3-year-old, so anyone would be likely upset. They actually followed some tips, which were successfully led to the boy.
How did he survive? It was so bad out. He's 25 pounds, 2 feet, 4 inches tall. It was so bad out that they had to stop the search because it was freezing. Extreme cold. They actually turned away people from searching.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they said that like the fact that he didn't eat for 3 days is normal. Like, you know, humans don't have to eat every single day in order to survive. You know, it's not comfortable, it's not healthy, but you know, the little boy could survive that long without food. You know, he says he hung out with a bear, but there's no word on whether or not that actually is true or not.
Yeah, I hung out with the Care Bears at a young age too, you know, but he's 3. You know, you can't get a straight answer out of a 3-year-old.
No.
So
he's going to tell a story and
man, well, how did he survive though? I want to know. Like did a bear keep him warm? You know, it was freezing.
I mean,
how do you survive that? I couldn't survive that. I would probably die.
Well, you know, and maybe it is that he did have animal help, but there's just really no way to
We tried
know.
to dig deeper a little bit too and try to figure this out and find out if he actually did hang out with a bear, but how are you going to know in the end?
Well, and the parents asked for privacy, and so they kind of like cut off additional questions. Mm-hmm. You know, they said that the little boy is fine and that he's asking to watch Netflix, and so they're just kind of leaving it at that.
He's up and talking, and he's fine, and he's not going to be staying at great-grandma's anymore.
Probably not.
Wow, man. So, you know, they follow tips, but that's a crazy story, but, you know, I guess he didn't really hang out with a bear, huh? Well, just because he says so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Imagine that, though. Bears are kind of human-like, taking him in and...
I mean,
it's not a cartoon, AJ. It's not a cartoon.
Well, but the thing is that sometimes animal instinct is weird, and I mean, crazier things have happened, right? Like, crazy things can happen all the time, and it's possible, but I don't think it's likely that a bear helped him. This little boy was probably just imaginative and telling a story.
Yes, imaginative and telling a story until he gets to a certain age, and he'll change into a man. And this kid changes into a man. Here's our palate cleanse. Moving on from a story. Right before our very eyes. Catwoman, Universal Studios. Boop. Did you see it? Did you see him?
No.
Did you see him hit puberty right before our eyes? So Catwoman obviously tight clothing, walking around.
Spandex.
She's got a whip, shapely body. Look at right when she walks up to this kid right here. Boom, boom. See right here? And boom. Let's full screen it. Boom. And she laughs. You can see her laughing. You ever see these live action characters at Universal Studios, Disneyland, anywhere else?
I feel like I did at Universal Studios, but like I'm not about to go up to a character like that and interact with them. So in passing, sure.
Bert, he's fine. He's like, ho. Dirt? Looking the other way.
Grandma knows too.
Grandma, look at her. And Catwoman starts laughing too. I love this so much, man. It's just donk. And that's a quick palate cleanse for you right there. Universal Studios. There you go. Making men out of boys.
That has to happen sometime.
Well, life is ever evolving and ever changing. Life, it's happening.
Embrace it.
So this week in Reddit, that's what we're doing. TWI. This week in Reddit, they said, what fact? This question was asked. What fact totally changed your perspective? What fact totally changed your perspective in life? So let's go through a few of these. The longest nicotine craving, somebody posted, will last 180 seconds. Is that true? People that have nicotine cravings, it only lasts 180 seconds.
Well, I think I'm not sure.
They say that means all they have to do is resist the cigarette for 3 minutes. They said their last cigarette was January 25th. They know the exact date, 2008. So a nicotine craving will last 180 seconds, huh?
Well, and it's really just a good tool to go like, I just need to get through these minutes, and really if you can just get through these minutes, then you've overcome it.
Count the minutes in the day. Okay, so we're talking about the Reddit question, what fact totally changed your perspective? And Kendra, feel free to jump in. One person said that simple interaction with a stranger can make their day or yours. And it really can. Kind of changing. We always talk about like when you walk in, I always wanted to change the room, I gotta flip our cameras because we're both like looking to the outside.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me flip them. Let me see if I can do this. Go ahead. Did you have a favorite? Flip you.
It took mankind, and this is like a history, like time perspective thing. It took mankind.
Okay, look at me real quick. Now we're looking at each other. I like it. Okay, good.
It took mankind 4 times longer to switch from a copper swords to steel swords than it did to switch from steel swords to nuclear bombs.
So they use copper swords for that long? I didn't know copper was that sturdy. I thought it was kind of like more malleable.
I was surprised to read that as well, but that also just goes to show you like how technology exponentially increases. We figure something out and then it's like it doubles.
This guy, Assad the Impaler, says that I'm capable of being entirely convinced of something false. As a result, anything I'm convinced of doesn't necessarily reflect reality. I've been duped before. I'm trying not to get duped again.
Well, and what scares me more about those things is like the false memories that sometimes people will, try to put in people's brains and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that's totally possible. But
I also like this one. We judge we're talking about what is it? What fact totally changed your perspective? This one says we judge others on their actions, but we judge ourselves on intentions. So it means that you should have more positive actions rather than your intentions, because intentions don't really matter. So you really focus on what you're actually doing rather than what your intentions are. And I think that will set a good sail for somebody.
Well, and the commenter under that actually kind of elaborates by saying questions to ask yourself. So you don't ask, am I a good person? You ask, what good do I do in the world? Mm-hmm. So again, it's action based and not intention based.
Also, there are real. Why would this change somebody's life? But there are real life castles that are less expensive to buy than a New York apartment. Yeah, some castles you can get for free, but you have to agree to upkeep them. Well, and the upkeep is what is super expensive. Like some castles in France, I guess.
I kind of read into this thread, and so you have to keep it up to the historical or significant historical importance. And the people that you would take to replace or repair any kind of damages, they're rare. The materials have to be accurate, and it's real expensive.
Mm-hmm. Also, Balto, if you ever familiar with that Disney movie or whatever, Balto only ran the last leg of the route. The Iditarod, I think they did. the one that did majority of it and the hardest parts was Togo. And somebody did a really nice write-up there. It's really long. I don't want to get into it too much because we're kind of just cruising through. 42 minutes now live at the podcast. Make sure you check it out. If you're listening to us on iTunes, you can always check us out on Spotify or YouTube, or you can check us live and comment along with us on Twitch. Twitch.tv. Did I miss anybody? I missed one. Our website,
shootthemessenger.net.
We're going everywhere. And we're still in the infancy stage. We're still in the baby stage. Like I said, we talk about this every week. I still haven't told anybody about it. I think I might be ready this week, but I say that every week. So we'll figure it out. Anything else?
There was one near the top that I wanted to... time doesn't stop. Time doesn't stop. And time moves faster than you think. Like 2 minutes is 2 minutes. And if you can just get... Like, this person is specifically referencing, like, I'm really nervous about the speech that I'm going to give in 2 minutes, but in 2 minutes, it's going to be over.
Right.
And as a child, I used to always think about that.
At work, that's what I always think about. I'm like, if I can just get through this serving job one more freaking day. That's what I think. That's how I got through it. I'm like, hey, it's just these certain hours, it'll be over soon, right? Also, the final one here, I'll wrap it up here. Most people are too wrapped up in their own lives and insecurities to focus on your little stumbles. I think, high school, grade school kind of scarred me a little bit because people were really focused on what the hell I was doing. And in real life, when you get older, you got so much to, because you don't have anything to worry about as a kid. And I think that's what it is. You don't have much to worry about. As I get older, you slowly realize that you're not under a microscope usually, unless you're in performance, and then sometimes people, unless you do what we do, and then sometimes people can judge.
Exactly. Well, would you have considered yourself like a class clown as a child? Did you gather attention because you were making yourself attention?
Yep.
Okay, so they were probably being critical because you were asking for it.
Asking for it. I wasn't asking them to be dickheads.
No, you're probably weren't.
Kids suck. So there you go. Let's finish that up there. The fact that totally changed your perspective. It's always good to get a different perspective, man. I figure like the more perspectives you get, the more fruitful of a character you are. Right?
Yeah. I mean, one perspective that's kind of, I wouldn't say changed my life, but kind of sometimes helped me is the idea that all people are like small children, and if you can just view them as like these little children that are just doing their best.
Oh, Jesus. Tell your boss that then, right? I just view you as a little kid. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, but you can't.
It gives me more patience to deal with that.
Yeah, see, there you go. Boom.
Kids just can't keep it in.
Case in point. We got to keep it lively here. But yeah, I mean, you think... Nobody's perfect, and we do have faults, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to expand on that? I didn't mean to cut you off, but do you want to expand a little bit on what you meant by viewing people as kids? It's
not meant to be degrading, or it doesn't mean that you should talk down to somebody, because I think that you should also treat children with respect. Just because they're small doesn't mean that you shouldn't treat them with respect. Right. But yeah, view them as somebody who's just trying to get by. Just
Look at
like
them through the eyes of a child.
Yes.
Just like me. Okay, so Mentos Challenge, Kendra, the Mentos Challenge.
I'm
Kendra.
ready.
This is part 2 of the Mentos Challenge. Mentos, the fresh maker from the 90s. Kendra did not experience these commercials, nor does she know what's about to happen. But of course, in every Mentos commercial, there's a problem. You pop some Mentos and you solve the problem. Kendra, with her big-ass brains, we're going to ask her if she can figure out what's going to happen. Now, we last left off, I think in episode 2, one of the lost episodes, with the girl trying to figure out what to do about her boyfriend. Her parents are coming up, and he's in the room, and she eats some Mentos. And what does she do, Kendra?
It was the Mrs. Doubtfire moment.
Yeah, they put on the makeup and they put on the face mask, and it's just the girls hanging out. He doesn't make a very nice-looking girl, though.
No.
Okay, so on with the Mentos Challenge. All right, so here we have a cityscape, okay?
Right.
We have a bunch of kids hanging out, having fun, laughing. They got their bags, okay? And, God, there's like I'm blocking that. Anyway, so he gets boxed in. What is he going to do? Okay, 1 second. Did he pop Mentos? He didn't pop the Mentos. How does he get to his friends, Kendra?
I mean, he couldn't.
You saw the label, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did.
You saw the label,
but he couldn't walk through the gaps. I don't.
No, I know. I would stand on the bumper or something.
Yeah,
but
stay in the walkway.
What do you think he does now that you saw the title?
Go through the driver's side window.
Close. They're like, what are you going to do? He pops the Mentos. He looks pretty cool, man, like a surfer dude. He goes through the back seat. The business guy, he's got his cell phone. Ooh, that 1990s cell phone. Gives him the look, though. Did you see that stare? Like, bird.
Yeah.
His friends are like, oh, my God, you're the craziest. And he pops his Mentos, the fresh maker. There you go. Kendra, 1 for 1 today. Okay, let's hope that it doesn't come up in the bottom again. Man, that's crazy. Oh, airport. Okay, I like that. Okay, so they're at an airport. They're at the baggage claim. A bag slides down. She's got her baggages. She goes to a baggage cart. Some lady grabs the baggage cart. She's got too many bags. She can't do anything. She sees the baggage vehicle. What does she do? She pops her Mentos.
She throws her bags on the baggage thing.
Those are the ones that usually kind of bring the bags to the airplane itself, right?
Yeah, she's probably not supposed to do that.
She's probably not. Look at that pot. Look at she's got a wide gap in there, like a big mouth bass, ready for the lure. Okay, so she pops the Mentos. Let's see if Kendra's correct. Boom, jumps right on.
Grab a ride.
Her friends, you're so crazy with Ment. That's not very creative.
No.
And she passes the lady that took her car, and she's got a free ride. Ooh, the lady gives her the nod of approval. Mentos, the fresh maker. We move on. Number 3, the rock concert, Kendra.
All right,
okay.
rockin'.
You're 2 for 2. Kendra, they're at the rock concert. Sold out. Uh-oh. Sorry. Nothing you can do about it. The tickets are sold out. He's at the window. He wants to buy tickets. His friends are in there. What? He's not liking it. He sees a security guard. Pops a Mentos. How does he solve this one, Brainiac?
Pretend to be a roadie.
That's pretty good. We had the one guy in the last one that pretended to be a photographer.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And to get into the big event. Let's see. He sees the roadie's Kendra. I think you got it. He puts on a headband like the Bruce Springsteen style. It says, hey, give me the keyboard. And just starts loading shit in. And she sees him. She just blinks him off. You silly guy. This is pre-terrorism.
As long as you're helping.
Mentos, the fresh maker. Kendra, 3 for 3. God, you're really good at this. This is the classic one, okay? All right, so I'm blocking the title so you can't see it, okay? She gets backed in. Look at, she gets back. There's no space for her to move on. The guy's like, I'm time. I gotta go. I gotta get a meeting. He's in a suit. So she's basically in between 2 cars with no room to move her car. She doesn't know what to do. Yeah, she can pull the Austin Powers, but she pops some Mentos. How is she going to solve this one, Kendra? This is classic Mentos commercial right here.
That's it? That's all I got.
That's all you got? That's all you got?
I mean, I didn't see anything out. Like, there's a tree next to it,
Do you
want
want to see it from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm blocking the title
Okay.
here. Okay, we'll give it to you again from the beginning. Here's the old one. I have to block a part of the screen so Kendra can't see the name because the name kind of gives it away. It gets boxed
So
in.
I see a tree.
I'm trying to see if there's any clues to this itself. There are, a little bit. I did see a little bit of a clue. You got to be really aware. Did you look at the background, Kendra?
Well, I'm trying to, but it moves so fast.
Okay. What does she do? How does she solve the problem? This could be your demise. I sense a fail right here.
I mean, like logic would dictate like she needs to like move the vehicle via a towing mechanism.
Let's find out. She's like, hey. He's like, what? Oh, she called in the brawny boys. You consider that a towing mechanism? Probably not. 4 dudes picks up the car. They move it out. That's how you parallel park the fresh maker. Okay, Kendra, are you ready for another challenge? We'll do one more.
I'm ready, yes.
Where are we at? We're at 51 minutes. Man, okay, all right. Maybe we'll do 2 more. Mentos challenge. Kendra, you're now 3 for 4. Okay. You got kids. They're walking, looking incredibly 90s. And you have some sort of lady trying to catch
Like
up.
a mother or
A
figure?
mom trying to catch up with the kids. And he's trying to get away. He runs into a mannequin. His mom is trying to catch him. Ugh, so he pops some Mentos.
He's going to pretend to be a mannequin. He's going to do the mannequin challenge.
He's going to pretend to be... He bumped into a mannequin and he thought, I'm going to become a mannequin. My mom won't even find me. She's looking, hiding from your mom. He is a mannequin. Correct, Kendra. Yay. Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, that was. You did a good
Mentos.
job.
Your mom can never find you. The fresh... Now she's going down the escalator. Yeah, look.
She shakes the umbrella at
That's
him.
my boy. Fooling me. Okay. We're at a 5-minute mark of a 7-minute Mentos commercial. So we'll do one more and we'll save the rest for Mentos challenge number 3. My camera's going out of sync. Okay, here. Ready for your last one?
I'm ready.
You're currently 4 for 5.
I am.
Trying to go 5 for 6. The Mentos challenge continues. Okay, so, this is called restaurant. Good. We have 2 people at a restaurant. The guy's trying to get the server's attention, and the server does not, he's at a dinner with a girl, can't get the server's attention. She's like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to pop some Mentos. I'm going to pop some Mentos. I can't get the server's attention. We're at lunch outside on the patio. It's busy. I'm going to pop some Mentos.
I want to impress this girl, so he's got to do it in a way that is not like... I mean, why wouldn't he just, I guess, go and grab the things that he needs? Just I'm not getting any service, so we're just going to go get the stuff.
Can you be more specific, please?
Go into the kitchen and grab...
How is he going to get into the kitchen?
Pretend to be a waiter. Again.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, I think that's what he's going to do.
Pretending
I don't know
be...
what he's going to do here, but I think that's probably the answer here. I mean, we're getting scholared. Oh, okay. He pulls off the tablecloth and he wraps it around his waist, and sure enough, he becomes the waiter. Bottle of Evian, and he serves himself and his date, and she's loving him. He got fired that day. Mentos, the fresh maker. Good job, Kendra. 5 out of 6, the Mentos challenge today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And happy birthday, Michigan, on its birthday today.
182 years.
182 years. All right, let's wrap it up. Now we've covered plenty of things today. Let's recap. Today we've covered your bad movie review. We covered Elon Musk, Michigan's 182nd birthday, the kids dance off for the ages.
Facts that changed our perspective.
We talked a little bit about horses.
That little boy that
Went
got
missing
lost
for 3 days, hung out with bears. This week in Reddit was great. The Catwoman given the gift of puberty, and the Mentos challenge. Of course, we'd like to thank Third Coast Gypsy Jazz for supplying us with the great intro music that we play for you during the show. And Kendra,
you can always catch us on our website at shootthemessenger.net. We're also on Patreon, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube if you want to watch us do this podcast, and then Saturdays at 2 p.m. Twitch.tv/Truce Now.
There it is. Shoot the Messenger podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we just getting started. We'll see y'all next week, 2 o'clock. Yay! I don't know what can I. Okay. Let me figure out an exit here. All right, thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
I'm going to play the full song. Can I play the full song?
Do it.
I'm doing it. Later. Say goodbye, Kendra.
Bye, Kendra.
Hey.